John, finishes 1-0, victory. What's the main emotion going through your blood right now?
Only one, that's relief. It's difficult to separate relief from happiness. You know, because if you said that, you wouldn't go to the toilet every time you needed to go to the toilet. You'd wait till you were absolutely on your knees, and then you'd have happiness, wouldn't you? And that's not very good, is it? I'm delighted for the fans. They stuck with us all the way through the game. You know, there was no moans and groans where we had to be a little bit more patient. We didn't want to get the game to be played the way Morecambe wanted the game to be played, which was very physical, very aerial dominated. So we had to try and find a way to get it wide, to get our particularly Huts on the ball and get them at them. I think he put about 4 or 5 crosses in the first half. But you can get desperate and you can just lump the ball up, and particularly when you've got Hawks playing as well. And Hawks did great today, you know, he gets manhandled every single game. I feel sorry for him, to be honest. But we had to find a way to get down the side of them, to get balls into the box. I always thought we might score from a set play, either a free kick or a throw, because we're simply going to have that many. And we tried to mix it up to 3 or 4 different things. That chance that we've scored from, you've been to every game, that chance has happened probably 15 times in the last 4 games. Sometimes they go in, sometimes they don't. For us, it was feeling as though it was never going to go in. You're also feeling we're at the stage where I don't know what you'd have to do to get a penalty anymore. I honestly don't. It's if, like, we've got the exempt card, we drew the card that, you know, we're not allowed to be awarded a penalty. But the players kept going, and so I'm pleased for the fans. I'm really pleased for the players. I'm pleased for the staff who worked the socks off every day. You know, you can't knock them. You know, you haven't got a set of people here who are sitting on our hands. That's for sure. And I think the relief that we showed at the end was palpable. But you stop there? No, you can't stop there. And we've told them, you know, that the league's very much of a muchness. So even the teams who are in the lower echelons, there's no real difference. There's a lack of quality in the league. Possibly down to the pitches haven't been the best this season, as a whole, in the league itself. So I think there's a lack of quality. There's definitely an increase in desperation by a lot of teams. And when you're desperate, you tend to just kick the ball as far as you can. And we've got to try and get away from that, even though we're desperate to win games. We've got to try and get away from that and try and play our way through it. But we don't want to be a team who plays for the sake of playing and gets the ball taken off them in stupid areas. You know, we want to be a pragmatic team who can change our style of football when it suits us to try and hurt the opposition. Yeah, you know, for me, it feels at this moment in time, it feels like the biggest win in my career, even though I know it's not. But it feels it at the time. And I used to have this thing going when I was a player and as a manager, is the next win should always be the most important. Your next game should always be the most important. And if you can get into that mindset, you never ever fall off the page. You never ever fall off the pace. You're always full throttle. And I've always been full throttle all my life. And so, you know, I'll have a zinc with our manager now, and then the focus then goes on to Newport and preparing our players right, and you know, getting ourselves into a position where we can compete. I just don't want to just be one win. You know, it's felt like forever, and I don't want that feeling again. You know, and I know we've got good lads in there. You're seeing the never say die attitude. Everyone give everything today. You know, you see young Jimmy Morgan coming on. He ran himself into the ground, he's making tackles, he's winning headers. And that's all you can ask of players. You know, if you get them to do the best and then they go a little bit more with the work rate, can you really criticise them? If they didn't nick the late equaliser or they didn't nick the 1-0 win, could you really criticise them? No, but it's all about results. And so, you know, I think we've turned the corner in terms of performances, but we haven't in terms of results. We've got to hope that's a catalyst. But you don't just say, all right, well that's it, we've won now, we're going to win every game we play. That's never going to happen. We've got to now up the work rate again and keep up in the work rate till it's May and he can put the feet up and go on holiday and have a well-earned break. But that's what you've got to do as a footballer.
When all said and done, those decisions that perhaps went against us, it would have been easy for the players to go back into the shells and say it's not going to happen today. They went until the very last whistle, and you said in your programme that we've got to fight, we'll keep going, but above all, we deserved it today.
We did, and you know, I don't think even the most ardent fan that I've got it. I spoke earlier on in the week, the affinity I've got to Morecambe in my playing days. I think even the most ardent Morecambe fan could not begrudge us the win today. We could have scored 4 or 5 today. But we kept on going, and you know, you don't get any more points for winning 2 or 3-0. It's great if you do, but you don't get any more points. But we've got to now find a way to win again, and hopefully we will on Tuesday.
John, thank you. Ben Watts, Radio Kent.
Yeah, John, obviously poetic really that your first win as a Gillingham manager comes against a club that you played for back in the 90s, but in terms of that relief and getting the result, what was the most pleasing aspect of the team's performance today?
Probably the most pleasing aspect of today is it's my daughter and it's my grandson's birthday today, and I promised them a present of 3 points. And I was promising something that I couldn't deliver. I couldn't guarantee I could deliver, but we were going to do our very best to deliver. No, the pleasing part today was that the lads have got the reward for the hard work. And when you put something in and you don't see the payoff, you can get disheartened. And when you do it again and again and again and you don't get the payoff, then it gets even worse. So to finally get it, you know, the lads are thrilled in there. But they know that there's a hard game coming on Tuesday. And
the fact that you obviously won it 1-0, but you didn't really give them a sniff. I don't think they had a shot on goal, did they, in the entire game? You know, in the last 4 games, you know, I know we conceded 2 and they had a couple of chances on the counter, Fleetwood. But in the last 4 games, we've looked really, really solid, and it's crazy because I'm talking to Jimmy about 2 minutes before we scored. I'm thinking, do you think we should go 4-4-2, get another attacker on and take a centre half off? And he's saying, yeah, but I know what you're saying. He said, and it might look good, but will it make us any stronger? We're on top at the moment. So thankfully, he persuaded me to hold me nerve, and then, you know, you're glad of having the 3 centre halves on at the end to see it out. And Robbie McKenzie has come up trumps so many times for the team this season, and the technique on the strike as well, you know, fitting in a way that, you know, he was involved in the win.
Yeah, he was a doubt all week. You know, Robbie will go through a brick wall. He carried an injury and he's worked through it, as has Litz, as has Nev. So there was 3 players there who, not for 1 second did I think they wouldn't declare themselves fit. And all 3 of them have ran themselves into the ground today. So, you know, that's the type of spirit that we want at Gillingham Football Club. And that's the least that fans deserved, but I don't think the Gillingham fans have had it in the last couple of years. And that's no disrespect to the previous managers. That's more, you know, that we've got to get it. We've got to create a set of players that want to influence each other. And when a lot of people are working hard, people feel obliged to work as hard with them in a group. That's the herd mentality. And we've got to foster that. You know, that if people aren't pulling the weight, they'll quickly get found out by the peers. And that's how you create a winning mentality. That's how what we've done over the years. Your own players do your job for you. They take players up before it ever gets to you. And that's what we're trying to create here.
And the fact that it was such an arm wrestle in the style of the game, you know, it required those sort of characteristics from the players to really stand up and be counted physically.
I remember the wrestling when I was young on World of Sport. 2 falls and a submission. I think we were going for a headlock or a pinfall. Or no. It was like a wrestling match, literally. And I don't use that word lightly, literally, but it was just wrestle after wrestle after wrestle, and it's difficult. I don't have to feel sorry for Hawks, because every time the ball plays to him, he is getting the shirt ripped off his back, he's getting manhandled, And the minute he breathes with someone, it's a foul against him. It's laughable when you step back. It's laughable, but it mustn't have be frustrating for him.
Admittedly, I think Maxima Cotton-Donnan was doing it to their centre forward.
Yeah.
But you mentioned kind of the emotions and relief to get that first win, and like you say now, a question of trying to build on that. You got a game coming up Tuesday, another home game next weekend as well. So the game's coming nice and quick. But I guess in a way you've got that monkey off your back and a little bit of pressure off.
You want that, yeah. People who know me know when I'm in this situation. The analogy I use, it's like taking a pair of shoes off that are too tight, and the relief you feel is unbelievable. I'm a size 9, that was like taking a pair of size 1 off. So, yeah, but you can't just say, well, that's it, I feel the relief now and then, we're just going to stop there. We've got to go again, and we've got to try and get, first and foremost, we've got to try and get the points that make sure that you don't go down, or you don't get pulled into a relegation fight. And then secondly, we've got to give the fans what they deserve, particularly at home. Now, every team we play, we're capable of beating. And I'm not scared to say that, because I don't fear any team in this league. But we've not got to feel ourselves. And it was pleasing that once we took the lead today, we never ever really looked like surrendering it. I know they had a few balls in the box, but we dealt with them really easily. It helps having a cool head with Glenn in goal as well, so he can keep a lid on them, and that's what I want to take from this game, that we found our way to win and we didn't bottle it basically.
And ticked off the home win, so I guess now Tuesday go try and get that.
The away win, yeah, why not? As I said before, we've just got to rest the players up now, and it's difficult for us. It's more difficult for us than probably any other team. Maybe Carlisle, but because they're far away as well. But we have to travel to so many long trips that you're trying to just get that freshness into the players. That at this stage of the season, it's ebbing, and we've just got to keep them motivated, keep tickling them, keeping them happy. And that's why I said, after Tuesday, we had a good meeting on Wednesday, so the lads lost the day off on Wednesday, and I felt we needed to do that. It wasn't a punishment. We needed to dissect that game and look at the areas that we can improve in, and we definitely did today. We definitely improved in that. We got a lot more balls into Hawks' feet than into the air. That's something that we had worked on and we'd showed them. But it's now a time where you're looking at trying to keep the players as fresh as possible, but still having to commit the time to get ourselves playing the way we know we can play.
And to keep a level of consistency, I guess, in terms of selections too, and trying to use that momentum.
Well, I've always favoured a settled team, because I think once they get to know each other, they know how each other's played, you know the nuances of each other. That's not to say I won't be shy to change it on Tuesday. But we've got to be mindful that there's still quite a few games to play, and we want to give ourselves every chance we can to win every game we play. Every game we play, we will go out to win. We won't be going to Newport looking for a draw, that's for sure.
Well done on getting that victory.
Thank you.
I suppose that's something to think about now, isn't it? You played the same 11 today, now do you sort of stick or twist for Tuesday? I think.
Well, don't forget, I played the same 11 on Tuesday as well. So the same starting team.
Yeah.
So, and I probably would have got criticised by quite a few fans before the game for doing that. But you've got to believe what you're doing is right, and you've got to believe what you're doing. You're doing something for a reason. And the one thing fans aren't privy of is that they don't know what goes on in the club. So they don't know when a player's injured. They don't know or particularly they don't know what things people are going through in their life. And that's up to us to correlate the squad and get the best out of the squad. And players can feel aggrieved that they're not in the starting 11 or they're not in the squad, but that can quickly change. And you've got to be ready when it does become your turn. You've got to grab it with both hands, and I think I get the feeling that's creeping into the squad at the moment.
the players are desperate to get the shirt and not going to give it back.
There was a lot of call for unity today, wasn't there, from yourself, the chairman, the supporters who came out and got all stick together. There was that from the off today, wasn't there?
Yeah, and I think it's got to be that, but it's got to be within the squad first. And if you want to look at anybody who could be your poster boy for that, it'd be Max Clark. Because Max Clark never got near the team for the first 4 or 5 games. He was close to coming on once or twice. I openly admitted I should have put him on against Grimsby. He's come in now and he's been a revelation. You know, and that's why you've got to keep yourself ready for when you are called upon. You don't sulk, you stick your chest out every day in training. He never let his head go down once, not once in training. He was a shining light, and he's getting his rewards now.
And you mentioned about possibly changing the formation. You turned to Jimmy, you had a chat, he said, let's stick with it. You need that trust, and that's trust from someone you've known all your life.
Of course you do, and I've known him all my life, but it's no point having an assistant if he's just going to go, yes boss, no boss. You know, he's there for a reason. He's there to give a different opinion or a different slant on it. And we mightn't always go with what he says, you know, a lot of the time we'll go with me, he'll tell you that. But it's good to have another opinion and another view, another slant on it. And then obviously we've got Pete upstairs looking down, so he can tell us the shape and how the shape's panning out. So we have got a good network of how we can influence the game. You get the gut feeling over the years. You get the good feeling whether it's going well, whether it needs changing or not. It becomes second nature when you've been doing it for so long, but you still need a little bit of help. And thankfully, I got that up today.
I imagine Pete had his opinions on the penalties as well. Have you seen them? Not the penalties.
Yeah, it's just one of them things. Probably about 10 years ago, I learned not to try and get too het up about things you can't control. I can't control them, so it's no point me losing my head about it. Although I did come close today a few times, but you know, at the end of the day, I can't control what a referee does. I can't control what a referee's assistant or a fourth official does. I can influence my players, and that's what I have to focus all my time on. And before my head hits the pillar tonight, I will have thought for at least 2 hours about Newport. You know, it will be going through my head. And that's the beauty of football. You know, you on to the next one.
And it's a chance to climb above them in the tables.
It is a chance, and that's what we've got to do. You know, anyone we can tick off going above, we've got to try and do that. And you know, there's a steely determination in this team. You can see it. You've seen it the last 3 weeks. You know, I'm not. It's not hot air. You know, I know we haven't had the results, but you can see the determination in the players. Unless I'm seeing something totally different, which I don't think I am. And so you just need them results to bring it to the forefront and to let everyone see. And so, you know, hopefully we'll go again Tuesday.